Hello, and welcome, guys. Welcome to Marlene's How To's. This is another live video, and today we're going to be talking about the fun season of fall. And as I always say, this is, the second most wonderful time of the year for me, only topped by Christmas. And I'm sure we can definitely understand why. And in today's video, I'm going to have a special guest co host, not here yet. The space is right there. So as the time goes along, they'll make an appearance. And I'm sure that you guys will be quite pleased with that. So as you can see from my backdrop right here, this is one of my favorite things about the fall, the beautiful colors that come out, the yellows, the oranges, and so on. When I was growing up in Jamaica, I didn't really have the chance to see that except on TV shows or, magazines and stuff like that. So basically, it was a new experience for me coming over. Okay, so I see Bruce Lee's here. He says, "Hi, Miss Marlene. Hi, Bruce. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome." And if anyone else is joining me, please feel free to use the live chat. It's right below the title where it says live chat. You can always put your comments in there. And that way I can see that you're there and give you an extra special welcome because I like to do that. And I like the feedback that we have, the rapport. I give you information, you give me information, and we all learn together and have fun. So again, this is in reference to the fall season, the fun things that we can do as families and with friends, just to celebrate the season. Hi, I see Miss McFarlane. She says, "Blessings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad of you to join me." And of course, we have a special guest coming up, so that'll be in a little while from here. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And I kind of have a bucket list for fall too. So some things I haven't done yet, some things I hope to do, maybe not this year, but then, sometime in the future, God willing, just out of the experience. And guys, remember, just enjoy your family, enjoy these activities, just make the best of it. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go talking about was and this, not everyone is into this because we don't do spooky Halloween at all. We don't do that. We just like to decorate for the harvest or the fall season. If you saw my most previous video, you'll see where we put out, like little scarecrows because it's the harvest time. The scarecrows keep the birds away from eating the seeds, the corns, and so on. So you'll see those, and you'll see, the porch decorated very nicely with all the colors and everything. So I just love that. And I also did one where I did my sister's apartment balcony as well, and she really, really liked it. She had put her own spin on it as well too. So all those are available if you ever want to go in and view what I have there. So that's as far as decorating your yard goes. You can also make a pumpkin patch with your kids. Hi, I see Johnson Home Decor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you. And so I was talking about decorating the yard. So basically, what we do is we made a little pumpkin patch. If you saw that from my most recent video, it's something really fun to do for the kids. The little kids going on their walks to the neighborhood. It helps to liven up their day when they see it. Put a little smile on their face. So I really loved, and even the older people too, kind of like brings back their childhood, and they really enjoy it. And they give us compliments on it too when they go by. So we know that we're doing something to lift people's spirits, and I like doing that. So then the next thing now that we're looking at is to decorate inside your house. Some people decorate using neutral colors because they kind of want to stay away from especially if it's someone likes in the, like in South Florida or something like that, where they don't have the leaves changing there. They may sometimes use like, more earth tones, like, the different shade of green, maybe like yellows, and grays and, the different shades of browns and so on. But for me, as you can tell from my backdrop right there, I just love those wonderful bright colors, the oranges, the yellows, and all of that. So that's as far as decorating. And I'm going to do a future video too. I do a little decorating, live. So you'll get to help me to figure it out. And it's going to go over into Thanksgiving as well, because you use those colors and they just go right over. All right. So then the first one on the bucket list, if anyone has ever done this before, is to actually do like a corn maze. Anyone on the chat ever done a corn maze before, where you actually go into the maze and you have to figure your way out, or ever done any maze before? Because in Jamaica at the Hope Gardens, the Hope Botanical Gardens, they had a maze there. And when I was a little girl, the maze was kind of high for me. But as you got older, you realize it's not that high. If you stand on your tiptoe, then you can actually see someone and you're like, okay, I think that's the way to go, because you don't want to be there if you lost, like, where do I go from here? So yes. So the corn maze. And guys, believe it or not, they're the biggest one that they have is actually in California, which surprised me. Let me see if I had how large it is here. I don't have it there, but it's the largest one that they have in the country, and it's actually in Dixon, California. I can just imagine what it's like going inside of that and trying to find your way out. I would say just make sure you have plenty of water, so that way, if you need, of course, you have your cell phone, you can make a call if you need to, if you get like lost in there. But they have, like smaller size ones all over the place where you can actually, just go in and have fun with your family for a day. And like I said, these are the days of cell phones. So, hey, if you can't find your way out, you can just call someone to come and get you, right? It's not like when I was a little girl, we didn't have any cell phones. You kind of like had to maybe yell out or something if you couldn't figure your way out. And of course, not doing the kids by themselves, but having company. And I see two Georgia peaches. Hello, 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 and welcome. Glad to see you. Our guest host will be coming up in a little bit later, in a few minutes. So just hang tight with me and we'll get that going as well. So we're talking about the corn maze. And what I noticed too, that some of them, because they're so large, you can actually get pictures from overhead, from above, and you can see like that it shapes out like different patterns. You may see like a person's face. It may be telling you like different words and so on. And that is just so, so clever. So some people actually do that. They are able to carve it out that way. The next thing now is for I do have the notation on here. It actually says that the one in Dixon is actually 53 acres. Can you imagine a corn maze that you're trying to find your way in that, and it's 53 acres? That is huge. Think how big 1 acre is, and you have 53 of those. So that's a really, really large, large maze. All right, so the next one now is leaf peeping, and that's what they refer to it as, where you actually go up into the mountains or different areas, of the country, and you can see the beautiful fall leaves. So you can take pictures with your family. They usually have different activities going on there, so those are always lots and lots of fun. So anybody ever gone up in the mountains to take a look at the leaves? I know like Helen, Georgia is an area where they have a lot of beautiful ones there. And you usually have to, try to find the peak season. And if you watch it, if you watch it, like say on the Weather Channel, or, even Google it or whatever, they'll tell you like when the time comes when they have the biggest, the largest amounts of color on the leaves. So you can time it and you can make your trip at that point. So that's as far as the leaf peeping goes. And also along with that too, not just like the leaf peeping, like where you're going to look at those things, but also where you're going to go and you actually just go on a nice road trip. That is so nice. You get your car full of some friends, maybe a minivan or something, and you just pile on into the minivan, whether you want to rent it or if you have one for yourself, and you just head on out on a trip like that and just look at how beautiful it is out there. And the nice thing about this time of year is that it is not so cold like in the winter, and you have all the wonderful, wonderful colors out there that you can get to see and enjoy. So that's definitely, something that I always recommend for people to do. So if you've never done that before, then there's something for your bucket list right there to go leaf peeping in different places. Like I said, like Gatlinburg, they have places like Helen, Georgia. Of course, even up in Canada, Ontario, they talk about Ontario and Quebec, that those are places where you can get those. In the New England states, up northeastern side of the country, they have a lot of those as well too, as well as the Appalachian Trail. I've never been, up in that area, but definitely less. So Miss McFarlane says she went to Helen's twice. I need to go. I feel so bad that I've never gone. But Helen, they said it's absolutely beautiful up there, and I can see why. She said Apostle loved it, and I can see why. It's kind of like a respite, just like a little time away, little peace, and you just when you enjoy all of this and people moving around, but everybody is just so relaxed and so at peace that you get to enjoy all of that. So that's wonderful, wonderful. Now here's one that I have for you guys. I don't know if you have ever tried this before, but this one is actually going hot air balloon. Would anyone want to try, see if they could do that? That's something that's on my bucket list, where I think that I one day would probably like to do it. Once I saw it when I was living in South Florida. I saw it one time. I was going into work, and this was years ago, like maybe 20 years ago. And they had you could see the balloon going up, the hot, well, actually it was up, but it was just like fading across. And back in those days, they had the camcorder. For those who are a little bit older, like myself, remember what a camcorder is. But our car was behind his, so we could just see him just rolling the footage. So I was there enjoying it above me going over, but I was also enjoying it looking through his camcorder that he had, recording it right there in front of me. And it was just a beautiful sight. And when I saw it that day, I said, I'm hoping that maybe one day I can actually get to go, up in a hot air balloon and see what that is like. So, without any further ado, though, I wanted to invite over my special guest to come over and join the group, and just to get some ideas more about the different things that we can do and have fun for the fall season. So, I want to make a little space right here. My chair is not going to be a split screen or anything like that. The person is actually right on location. So, I wonder who that could be. Gotta go wait for a couple of seconds. He's waving. See, I gave it away when you say he. And he's coming. Let's just make sure we have enough space right here. Shaking a little bit there. So here is our co-host. This is my husband, Mark.
All right, good to be here, everybody. I've been in and out just watching you guys, and I've subscribed to some of the channels, and I just want to say, it's great what you guys are doing, because it's uplifting, it's encouraging, and I love the camaraderie. And as you guys continue to do that, just encourage a lot of people, because coming out of COVID and stuff like that, there are a lot of people who have gone through different things. So this helps to build a community, and also helps to encourage people and let them feel, hey, life goes on, and make the best of it. So good job. Just keep doing what you guys are doing.
Okay, great. So that's the lead into it, right, guys? So then, so I did want to ask you, because we never really discussed it before. What do you think about going in a hot air balloon for a hot air balloon ride? Is that on our bucket list to do?
No, you see, I was never born with wings. Terra firma is where I am.
He's shooting it down already, guys. What am I gonna do?
Well, with a little encouragement, I might do it. Okay.
Well, I keep trying, because he's on right now, right? So that's a step in that direction. To Georgia Peaches says, "Welcome, Mark." Hi. So she's saying, "Welcome, welcome, welcome." So that's for the hot air balloon, and that actually happens in New Mexico, and it's usually in the month of October. So you can always go on and take a Google it and take a look and see when that actually comes about. So that's for the hot air balloon, if you ever wanted to try that. So do I have anybody else in the chat who figure they might want to try that? I don't know. You can let us know. So the next thing now is picking apples at the apple orchards. This is one of my favorite types right here that I like. I think that one is Pink Lady. And I also have the Gala one. I like those as well, too. Johnson's Home Decor says, "Welcome, Mark." Yes, so that's as far as the apple picking goes. And you basically just go and you pay what you need to pay, and you go in and you can pick as many apples as you want. Right. And they have different areas all over the country where they actually do that. So you could just, look them up and see what that is about.
The good thing about the apple farm is that when you go there, there's normally a lot of festival stuff going on. So there's like
yes,
butter apple.
Well, some people make that, because I had a friend who went up there and she bought some apples and she made it's either butter apple or apple butter. I can't remember which one it is. Apple butter. Okay, right. Yeah. So she actually made it and she gave us to us. It's almost like a jelly, but it tastes a little bit different. I think it was a little bit more thickness to it, I suppose. But it was really, really nice, and we enjoyed it for quite some time. So if you've never gone apple picking before, definitely recommend it. You just do your research, plan your time out, and go ahead and have fun picking apples. Right. So then the next thing is, as far as camping. Some people don't want to do camping. They call it glamping, because it's kind of like a glamorous side to camping. So they're not kind of like roughing it out there, like outdoors, sleeping under a tent. They have something that's more formal, a more formal structure. And they have all the essentials. They have, like the bathroom they can use indoors. They have all the niceties, running water and all of those things, fancy food. You can cook whatever you want and so on. And they call it glamping, where, it's a little more fancier version. And some people, they don't want to go out and be doing all of that rough and tumble kind of stuff, so they basically will do it that way. And it's just a time away where they have fun. And then, like they'll go out and do stuff. They'll, create like a bonfire, like a large fire. And that's good, like for, if you go with friends and family to like a larger group, you just make your bonfire and you can, make a little different food items around there. So what Mark is going to do for us, he's going to go ahead and he is going to make some s'mores for us. It's been a while since he's done it, so he's gonna be right back, but he's gonna go and make some s'mores for us. I don't know if everybody here has ever had s'mores before, but I just want to show you the ingredients that he's gonna use to do it. And so the first thing that you'll need to have is your graham crackers, which would be, like these. I got the Walmart brand, but they have different brands that you can use. This one was a smaller size. This one says it has like 3 packs in there. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like right here. So that would be, and it says honey, so they're honey graham crackers. So that's what, so you use the crackers. And then the next thing that you will need to make it is you will need chocolate. And usually I get dark chocolate for myself, but my kids, they actually prefer to have milk chocolate. So that's what we got this time. So that's the milk chocolate that you would use to do it. And this is the final ingredient here, which would be this marshmallows. You probably saw the thumbnail for this live where I showed, I had the 2 of them that were roasted already. So my husband is going to be working on that right now. Lucy says, now we get to the good stuff. Okay, food. Yes. So basically, we're going to use the 3 items, the graham crackers, as they call them, the Hershey's chocolate, which is the milk one that we're going to use in this case. For me personally, I like my dark chocolate, and our marshmallows. So he's going to be coming with that. So, we did mention about the apples before and the apple picking. So a big thing about fall too is making pies. My sister, she is excellent at making pies. You should see her do them, man. I'm telling you. She cuts them out and she uses the strips, and she makes it, like a little plaid, the one that comes like this way and then that way across. And you can see like whatever it is. She does like blueberries. Of course, apple pie is a very, very American thing. A lot of people, they love their apple pies. So they'll make, apple pies, blueberry pies. And if any ever made pies before, I don't think I have. My mom used to make pies, even though it was in Jamaica. When my aunt would come down from England, they would carry some of the peach filler that they had over there, and she would make them. So that's when I first fell in love with pies, but I never really learned, and I probably should try to do that because, I bake a lot of stuff, but I just never made pies before. But like I said, my sister does it really well. So I probably maybe one day just take the time and say, you know what, it's time to learn. Let me go ahead and make some pies. So pie making is definitely a big part of the fall season. And of course, the next thing is hot chocolate, or hot cocoa, as we call it. And I don't know how you like your hot cocoa, but I like mine with a little bit of nutmeg inside there and some cinnamon, and that makes it be flavored so, so nice. Okay, guys, so I think he is coming over to us now. So you're going to have to show them how you did it. So we're going to look at the finished product first. So this is what it looks like. So you can see that you have the chocolate inside there, and then you have the marshmallow, and you have the graham crackers over on the outside. So it's, the kids, they absolutely love this. I mean, I don't have a lot of sweet stuff as much as I used to. So of course I go in moderation, but it just depends on what you're able to handle. Everybody knows what they can actually handle. So he's going to come and show us how to do it, because he normally makes the s'mores for us at home. And this is a good thing too. Like if you have the fireplace going, you can just roast them in there. It doesn't have to be over on the stove. I mean, they even have recipes where you can actually make s'mores in your microwave. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I just like the whole fire thing with that nice kind of crusted look that you get with them. So he's going to be showing you how he did it that way. So he is coming around with it. So there you have it, guys. I'm shaking a little bit here. So there you see it.
What you do is you just toast the marshmallow.
Yeah.
And once you toast it, you smush the chocolate onto it.
Go a little bit higher for them.
And then you squeeze everything together once it's nice and hot. And then you hold it up a little bit higher. Up there you just go. Like that.
Yes. And that is delicious. So I don't know if you ever had your kids have them before.
Now you can change the amount of chocolate, it's like sweet chocolate to unsweetened chocolate. Cut back on the sugars and so on, depending on your health.
Yeah. So that's as far as that goes, making your s'mores there. So that's something fun that we do. And, you have your bonfires when you're going, camping by the campsite. So we have those available for you. What else do we do that we do outdoors, like for camping? Because
hot dogs.
Yes, hot dogs too. So people like to roast those. You just put them in the fire and you roast them there, and that is absolutely just wonderful and so delicious. So those are available for you too. And then next thing we're gonna do now is to talk about shopping. Shopping, especially for the ladies, we love to go shopping for our fall and winter clothes. That is boot season, okay, guys? So you go ahead and you get you go shopping and you get your boots. You have your ankle boots, you have your booties, you have your knee highs. I think I'm a little too older for thigh high boots, but there are some people who like those. I just think it's a little bit too much for me for my age. But whoever can wear them, I think they look really cute. I just don't think that it's something for me. So you wanted to put in the chat what kind of boots, the ladies that are on, what kind of boots you like to wear. If you prefer that little booties, if you like the little ankle ones, if you prefer the knee high ones, or if you prefer the thigh high ones. And sometimes it depends on where you live, because if it's really, really cold, sometimes the little booties or even the ankle ones are not sufficient to keep you warm. So you may have to go ahead and get the ones as it goes further into the season. But yes, guys, that's the time when we go shopping for boots, different heights, different colors, different styles and so on. All right. So, and then also we go, shopping for like winter coats and fall coats, like our cardigans, those nice sweater, what do you call them? Sweater coats or sweater jackets, that the name is missing me right now. But we all do those, as well too, just to prepare for the weather that's coming. So we have all of those things as far as the shopping side goes. And then the next thing now, guys, is when you go to the fall festivals. Those are always so much fun too. And there are different things that you can do there. I think our church is having one that's coming up, in the near future as well too. And it's always fun. There's always that kettle corn. And if we have any kettle corn popcorn fans out there, but that is actually my favorite flavor. She says knee-high boots, love them. Okay, great. That's me too for the most part. If it's gonna be, and especially if you have a nice dress that's a reasonable, length coming down, not too far down, because you can wear those ones too. But the ones that are maybe like, like just below your knee, like your dress style, and those nice little shift dresses and so on, they look so good when you style them with a nice pair of boots. I got some beautiful, beautiful ones the other day, and I'm looking forward to wearing them when, once it gets cold enough for that. So yeah, they're definitely, guys, that's a fun part of it is the shopping for those cooler weather things. So we're going back now to the fall festivals and what happens there at the fall festivals. They always have the kettle corn, and there's just something about kettle corn to me. They have caramel corn, of course, too. But for the kettle corn, we basically I'm not sure how they do it, to be honest.
It's basically
know.
it's basically like steaming it. Basically, you don't. It's like almost like an air fryer, so to speak.
Oh,
Yeah. So there's not a lot of oil or butter in it, just salts and sugars.
okay. And I think that's probably the thing about it too. Like you have the salt and you have the sugar, so it's a little bit of salt and sweet. So you basically mix those two things together. So that's as far as the kettle corn goes. And it smells so good. That's the thing about it too. It smells so good. And of course, sometimes they'll have like, cinnamon buns out there that you can get those. And they're nice and hot, and ready for you. And they just smell so good, make you just want to eat more than you actually should. And then what we do, I don't know how many people know about cornhole. You can let me know if you've ever played cornhole in the comments. Usually we have it at our church. In a little water there. We have it at our church. What they do is they have it out, and you have like teams that compete against each other, like one team against the other one. And if you don't know what a cornhole is, it's large. It's maybe like about how many feet you think? Maybe like about 6 feet long. What you put it in?
No, the cornhole is about 5 by 3.
About 5 feet by 3 feet.
Yeah, it can be 6 by 3. It's basically like a board set
Yeah,
at
kind
an
of like the
angle.
phone, like shaped like this, but it's on the ground at an angle like that.
Right, and then
And then they have a little hole up at the top. And then I guess the reason why they call it cornhole is because in the past they used to put like corns in there, and then in a little sack, like a little sack, and you'd have a line. They draw the line at a certain point, and then you get it, and then you toss the cornhole in. And then when you toss the corn, you toss the corn
Sack.
in the corn. Yeah, the sack with the corn in the cornhole, and then your team gets a point for it. So of course you have to have a good aim to make sure that when you toss it, that you actually get in there. And it's just fun. So as long as you don't have any like, mobility problems, or anything like that, then it's definitely a fun activity. We always do it, and you just, and some games, the more that you play them, the better they become for you. With practice, they say practice makes perfect. So, you just go in and you keep going until you get to the point where you want to get to. So I don't know if anyone out here has ever played cornhole before. And of course, another thing that they do at the fall festival is that they do like face painting for the kids. So they'll go in and they'll choose like their favorite character, and then when they choose their favorite character, you go ahead and you paint it on their face. So that's something that they do as well there. And of course, you always have really good music that's playing over there, and it's just such a wonderful time. So I just wanted to take a moment to say we have because we have a few ladies on here that have channels as well. We have two Georgia Peaches here. It's a number two, the word Georgia and the word Peaches. She has a very very new channel. She actually does earrings, like fashion earrings, and they're really really cute. But like I said, she just started a couple weeks ago, and it is a hobby for her. But she's looking into making it into a business. She's very dear to my heart, a very very special person to me, and she just wants to get some feedback from you guys. And all she does is short videos. They're short. They're like 15 seconds or less. So be sure to check her out once you get off the live. Take a look at her, and if you like what you're seeing there, you can always subscribe. And again, even though it's a short and it doesn't last for really long, like 15 seconds or less, if she wants to get your feedback as to if you like it, what you think she could have done differently, anything like that, any suggestions or whatever, just to give her an idea, what people are looking at, because she has her taste. Everybody has their own, and sometimes you may be thinking that you're doing what people want and they kind of want something else. So I would definitely say, go ahead and check out her channel. It's two Georgia Peaches. So it's a number two, the word Georgia, and the word peaches. So check her out, guys. And it won't take a lot of your time either, because like I said, all she does is shorts on there. And of course, we have Johnson Home Decor. Miss Johnson Home Decor, I want to say congratulations to you, because guess what? I see that you've made it to 1,000 subscribers. Yes, yes, yes. I am so, so happy for you. Congratulations, my dear. She says, Mark the chef. Yes. So she says you're a chef.
I'm trying.
He's good, because guess what? We both cook at home together, right? He's Jamaican too, right? Typically, when they see my husband, you can lean in a little bit and they can see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide.
But anyway, he is from Jamaica too. His grandfather came from China like over 100 years ago, and they stayed. And then you have the mixed thing going on and everything. So, bam, that's my husband right there. As you say, one of my ride or dies. So anyway, so that's as far as that part goes now in terms of how we do the stuff around here. But he actually does a lot of the cooking. Or I'd say maybe it's like 50-50. Because he's looking at me. Maybe it's more, I don't know. But he does a lot of the cooking in our house, right? Some things I taught him, some things he taught me, because he does have some of the Chinese background. So of course, there's some dishes that they do that, I didn't know how to cook them. I enjoyed them, but I didn't know how to cook them. And he showed me how to do them. And there are some things that, he kind of knew about, but I kind of like showed me, tweak it this way, tweak it that way, just to make it the best. And boom, there you go. People love our cooking. So what can I say? That's a part of the fun, right? In the fall. So, okay. So I see Bruce Lee says, congrats to Georgia Peaches. And she says, yes, I love shopping. Oh, yes, absolutely. And he says, Bruce Lee says, congrats, Miss Johnson. So, yes, we are so very proud of you, my dear. And you absolutely deserve it, because, you work really hard on your channel. You're very consistent and you're always giving good quality stuff. So, absolutely, I'm very proud of you. And I'm very glad that I was there and a part of the journey with you to see that take place. So that's a blessing right there. And your channel has blessed people, because people may think, oh, it's decorating, blah, 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 whatever not. But guess what? You may not need someone to show you decorating ideas every day, but you have an occasion. It could be a wedding. It could be a baby shower. It could be people coming over for Christmas, coming over for Thanksgiving or whatever. And then you refer to those channels. So it's not necessarily you have to watch them like every upload that they do, but you go in and you get ideas to help you, with future occasions that you might have. Just like with mine, my major part of my channel is gardening. And people don't always want to be doing gardening stuff. So I do some decorating as well too. But basically, you may not want to be learning about gardening all the time, but there are times when you do want to, learn something, try a different plant. You're not having much success with your plant, and you want to see what's wrong, where you can fix it, what you can do differently, what mistakes you might be making, or just to enjoy them, just to see what is there. So, guys, if you're new on the chat here, because I know people come on after the chat time and time again, it happens every single time. If you've never subscribed to my channel and you happen on this live feed, be sure to hit the subscribe button, tap on the notification bell, give me a thumbs up if you're watching and you like what you're seeing. And, we give you those ideas, as we go along, as the seasons change, you can always go back. Because my older videos, some of them get so many views still, people still go on and they're pretty much like evergreen content, as they call it. So it comes, whenever the seasons comes around, you see the views going up again. So they're there. And that's a good thing about YouTube. It's there for a long time. The McFarlanes, they have an inspirational channel. I'm not sure how we'll deal with that in the future to mention it, but we'll see how it goes, maybe moving on into Christmas or something like that. So we were still talking about food, like some of the different things that we make. We made our s'mores already. Those who missed it, if you just came on, my husband made it. And they're so delicious, like when you have them in the fall season, you have your graham crackers on the outside, you have your chocolate, and then you have your marshmallows on the inside. So we have those fall recipes. There are a lot of soups that are made. I had potato soup one time and it was really, really good because I never really had potato soup in Jamaica. We make our soups differently, but it was like it had like potatoes in there, it had like heavy cream. I put some turkey bacon in there, some onions, and a little black pepper and so on. It was actually really, really good. And guess what, guys? When the weather is getting colder, you kind of want like comfort food. There's just something about cold weather. I don't know the science behind it. If anybody knows, you can be sure to tell me. But basically, what happens is, when the weather is colder, you tend to want to eat more. Maybe it's because your body wants you to have more energy. Yeah, more energy from the food so that you'll keep, nice and warm. So that could be why. But basically, you want to have those nice, rich foods and like, your soups. Casseroles are another big thing again. I do a nice chicken casserole. Everybody always, always loves it. It has chicken. Yeah. How could I forget chili? That should be the first thing that I said. Chili is a very, very good one. You put your beans in and all the other stuff, and you just, you get it going, and you can have it. Because what we normally do is when we make our chili, we'll have it sit there like for 2 days, just on warm in our slow cooker. And so we'll have it for lunch and dinner, and this lasts us for 2 days because we make we fill it all the way up. Right. So it's always going to be there for us to enjoy. So that's something good that we do there. I'm not sure if you can think of any other fall foods that we have our casseroles, our soups. We have our s'mores when they're out camping. What else did I say?
You always go for
casseroles.
Yeah, pies.
Yeah, and the pies, like the apple pies and all of those
Coffee
different
with pumpkin
things.
Spice and
yes.
all that stuff.
And that's the next thing I do. All the Starbucks fans out there, I know it's your time of year because of the pumpkin spice lattes. I drink coffee sometimes, not a lot of it. I don't know if any of your coffee drinkers are there. You can let me know in the comments. But a lot of people are avid coffee drinker. My mom definitely was. She loved her coffee. But I know a lot of people, they just can't do it without their Starbucks coffee, or, some people like Dunkin' Donuts. But of course, the pumpkin spice is what comes up a lot, once you get over to the fall season. I mean, usually from October, they start putting them out already. We can get your pumpkin spice latte or whatever else it is that you like to have at that time. So we talked about the cornhole, the kettle corn at the fall festivals, the hot dogs that they have there, painting of the face and all of that. So these are some of the wonderful things. And of course, the music is always good. You go around, you nice weather and everything, you're enjoying all of that. And then we're not drinkers personally, but going to wineries is another one a lot of people do in the fall season. They have wineries that are set up specifically for that. People went and they taste them. They get different samples and stuff. And so they do them, and, they have fun doing that, So people have, things that they like, and, they'll travel for miles, to go and do stuff like that. So that's as far as that part goes. And that is the wineries. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, things that you do to celebrate the fall season. It could be that you like decorating inside, that you like decorating outside. If you go camping, and again, I had said earlier, for those who came on a little bit later, about a hot air balloon that That is on my bucket list, but I don't know. My husband is kind of like very iffy about it. He's not sure if he wants to do it or not. So I'm basically saying, we'll see how it goes. Like you say, give it time sometimes. Sometimes you need to give something some time, right? And
Yeah.
then you see what happens after that. So we'll see how it goes. So
I'll
that's
take a
just,
parachute with me.
it won't help you. Prayers would be better, I think, right? And then another thing about the fall season, of course, is football. Now, I'm from Jamaica. My husband is from Jamaica. So when we say football, then what happens? Oh, Johnson says hi to Georgia Peaches. Yeah. So in Jamaica, when we say football, we're not talking about the football that gets played in America. We're talking about soccer. We're talking about soccer, guys. You're welcome, Johnson Home Decor. We're talking about soccer, right? So over here, though, they're talking about the NFL, NFL football, where they, suited up and everything. And that is a very, very big deal over
Yeah.
here. So much so that initially, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't into it at all. But it kind of grew on me because, like when you go into the office and they have, like celebrations, for the football season. I won't say who my team is because I don't want to get anything started because everybody got their team and they're so very passionate about it, right? But like I said, I kind of like, yeah, that's not real football. I'd say some stuff. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, a little bit, you whatever. But because I'm just like, that's not real football, right? Because you are not, you're not kicking the ball that much,
Yeah, but it's called football because the ball is a pigskin that's a foot long.
Oh
That's the reason why
yes,
they
I
call
did
it
hear that
football.
somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Miss McFarlane says same in Barbados. She says soccer, football, right? So that's what we call it on there. But over here, football is. So he did tell us, right? Because I know I've heard it before, but sometimes you forget
Yeah.
stuff. Well, thank you for reminding me. So that's why I
Right.
got him here, right, to help me out. He said he'd do more. I saw that smoke. But anyway, yeah, so the foot, the football, the foot long or whatever, that's what they do over here a
Right.
lot. So anyway, um, it's such a big deal over
Yeah.
here.
Tailgating, man. Tailgating.
Tailgating, I'm
Ooh.
telling,
Barbecue,
listen. So when
wings. Look, a whole 9 yards.
if you've
It's
never
a
been tailgating, man, you need to go.
burgers.
Even if it's just one of some of your
Yeah.
friends, you could just go somewhere and go hang out there. You got
Yeah.
your hamburgers. You got your, how did I forget hamburgers?
Yeah.
See, when you're
Yeah.
getting older, guys, I'm telling you, it's a thing.
Ribs. Tell you.
We're not pork eaters. We don't eat pork. We
Yeah.
don't eat shellfish, right? Each to his own, of course, right?
Right.
So we make beef ribs. So he loves to
Yeah,
make
they're
some beef ribs. They're
bigger.
huge,
Yeah.
right? So that's what when he says ribs, that's what he's talking about, beef ribs. So we make those. But like I said, there's a couple of friends, your family, there's a couple of you have, because typically they do it like in they say tailgating because it's the back. She said, thank you guys, appreciate all the support. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So typically it happens in the back, the what do you call it now? The flatbed of the truck. That's typically where it happens. They do everything in there, but it doesn't have to be. There are other things that you can use. You can, if you have like a SUV or whatever, you can have your food in there. You open
Just
up
bring
the
the
back.
grill.
You just bring the grill. You have the grill
Put
to
it
the
outside.
side, and you put your stuff on. Like your hamburgers, your hot dogs. My husband loves to do kebabs too. He'll put some kebabs on there. I don't know if you like kebabs or not, but we love them here. And he puts them like with like some pineapples will be on there, bell peppers, some carrots, celery sometimes, and he'll put those on the grill as well. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't touch a grill at all. And it was just really a part of my culture growing up in Jamaica. We typically the women don't grill. It's usually a guy thing. It could have changed over the years because it's been, I haven't lived there for like over 20 years, so maybe it's different. I've gone to visit, but from what I saw down there, it pretty much is still the same. Where it's usually the men who do the grilling. So that culture kind of came over, into our house. My brothers were the ones who did it. Or when my dad was, because he was away, usually away for work, but visiting, then he would probably do it. But coming over, into my own
Yeah.
household, my husband is the one who typically does it, and of course, he's taught our sons how to grill as well. They're not, where they at the peak of that, stage yet, but they're getting there. So that'll be for passing on to the next generation, and that's something good to do. You learn some skills, don't keep it to yourself. Don't pretend what they don't want to learn or whatever. Go ahead and
Yeah.
teach them, guys. Teach them, let them learn because,
Pan
you know,
chicken, jerk chicken.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Back in
Real
Jamaica,
good.
we jerk chicken because we do that over here too. You guys typically like barbecue chicken that we'll do because, you're in America, but we do jerk chicken as well too. So, we jerk the chicken and, we have that some kind, people who are, not from the islands, they always want something a little different
Right.
sometimes. So they'll come and they'll ask us, if they can have some or whatever, or get the recipe or whatever. So that's another fun thing too that we do. And that is the tailgating for those football games. Now, guys, those tickets are really expensive though. Come on, tell me in the comments. They cost a lot.
Yeah. And also during the season, it's baseball season also. Right.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because baseball seems like it's more like a
No.
summertime thing. Maybe they switch it over. I
Right.
don't know.
It's
We'll
baseball.
have to see. But I know the NFL, the football is a very, very big deal. A lot of that goes on, people doing the tailgating and all of those things, having lots of fun. So,
Right.
we that's a fun part of the fall season for us. And it lasts for a while over too. Because remember that the Super Bowl finals is normally in February, with the whole halftime show and all of that. So it goes from the fall right over into the, like I said, maybe the early part of winter, you'd probably call that, when they have it coming to an end there.
Right.
So yeah, so that's as far as the football part goes. So like I said, I'm not gonna tell my team because I'm the one that's the host and he's a co-host on the chat. We're on the same team though, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It helps when you're in your household, you can agree. You can be on the same team, so you're not kind of like going at each other. Who this, who that, or whatever. Your friends come over, of course, they have their own team, so of course they're gonna do that. So. Pastor McFarlane says, love, love, love jerk chicken. She said, Marlene, when is dinner?
Comfort food. She says it's chicken soup. Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
you name it,
We
man.
do a
Just let us
mean
know.
chicken
We'll
soup.
let us know. We'll
We do
arrange it for you because
mean chicken soup.
she's not
Yeah.
she's maybe less than an hour away, under hour away from us, so we can get to her. So we can actually yeah, we could do something.
Yeah, we can do some.
She
Yeah,
said,
we'll do some jerk chicken.
oh, she says your comfort food is
And
chicken
soup. Yeah,
soup.
right.
Oh
So we
my
can do some chicken soup
goodness.
and bring
Yeah.
some fried breadfruit and jerk chicken with it too.
You will
Yeah.
that's an unusual combination. I'll put it that way. It's an unusual combination, guys. But anyway, but when we say chicken soup from the islands, it's different than the chicken soup over here.
Right.
Because like when you buy it's Campbell's, right? That makes a chicken soup.
Chicken soup. Yeah. Or progressive
Or
breads
Progresso or
or
whoever,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. But it's basically like you have like your little pieces of chicken in there that they do it, and they have the noodles, and you have the flavor and everything. But when we do chicken soup in the islands, we have chicken in it. We're gonna put our yams, and this is not yams like sweet potato, like you put in a sweet potato pie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that kind of a yam. It's like yellow yams. We have the white ones. You just cut them, like in pieces, maybe like about size like so. About 2
Dumplings.
inches. We have dumplings that's made from flour, and it's not like the chicken and dumplings that you have over here. It's basically made from dumplings. I'm sorry, it's made from flour and salt and water, and it's a little thicker consistency than the dumplings
Mm-hmm.
that you have in America. But
Carrots
basically, yeah, we put carrots in there.
and
We put a lot
pumpkin.
of thyme. We put green onions, and we call them scallions back home. And we put like the hen soup or even the chicken
Let me
noodle
get
soup
one.
yeah, he's gonna go get one, guys, to show you what it looks like. The soup that we put in there, because you really need that to have the flavor, because no matter how you try to put all the other stuff in there, somehow it doesn't quite have that island flavor that we want. And believe me, I've tried to do it without it. Like if it's a case where I couldn't get them to buy, I said, okay, let me try and see what I can do, in terms of getting that nice cock soup flavor, or cock soup or hen soup or chicken soup. So this is the brand that we get for this one. So you can see it right there. And it says it's a Caribbean flavor because it actually really, really and truly is. We have it quite a bit, guys. So that's the cock the and she said, yes, our chicken soup is way different. Yes, because Johnson home decor is actually from Guyana. So that's also in the Caribbean. So that way, our cooking is very similar. You may have a little tweak here or there because of the culture, different peoples that came over, and they influence the cooking of the islands. Because, like in Puerto Rico, it's going to be a little bit different than in Jamaica, than in Guyana, than in Trinidad and Tobago. Because
Barbados.
like Trinidad
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
Tobago, Barbados, I think it may be a little bit closer to ours because they're more like under the British, we're under the British rule, and the way how they did those things. So maybe I don't know, but they're they have different influences depending on who was actually coming over and being a part of the culture. So it definitely influenced it in that way. So, but yes, guys. So the chicken soup, like I said, for the island people that's or the Caribbean people, we use this and we flavor it. And if you can't get that one, sometimes we'll use like they have like the pumpkin, yeah, the pumpkin soup one. They have that one as well too. But we need to give it something to give it that little kick, as far as that part
And
goes.
Scotch bonnet pepper.
Yes, and oh yes, and the flavor, because the Scotch bonnet peppers are really really hot. I don't have any here to show you right now, but they're really really hot. So if you're going to be putting that in, just want to cut a small little piece. Or what we'll do sometimes, we'll drop the whole Scotch bonnet pepper in the soup, and I'm telling you that thing, it smells so good, right? But the one thing they always warn you guys, when you drop a whole Scotch bonnet pepper in the soup, don't let it burst, because if it bursts in the soup,
Fire.
that's what this whole soup gonna feel like, guys. You're gonna have a lot of water or something to cool it down, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's as far as that goes. You put your Scotch bonnet pepper in there if you're not sure. Once it looks like it's kind of like cooked, like it's kind of like cooked, not firm anymore, like when it's raw or undercooked or whatever, you can just take it out. So that way you don't have to worry about it popping. And then you have issues, your whole meal is ruined. Or if you can manage it well, like I said, have lots of water. So that's put in the Scotch bonnet, but it gives it a really, really nice flavor. So that's as far as that goes. Yeah, she says yes. Hi.
Yeah, the fire truck indeed.
Yeah, she should put it. Yeah, it's a double exposure right here, heat and heat, right? And then the fire truck have to come. But guess the funny thing about it, guys. They always say that whenever you have a soup like that, if your sinuses are blocked up, then
Clear.
if your sinuses are blocked up, guys, they are going to be clear. You don't have to worry about any of that, right? It's just gonna be going so good for you. You're stepping away a little bit. Sorry if you have a little shaking going on here. It's just that the laptop is here. We're both using it, because usually it's me, but we have to make the space work, so it gets shaken a little bit. So I apologize if it's shaking, but that's just when he gets up and comes back here. So yes, guys. So that's as far as the soup part goes, or cock soup. We have different types of soup, and honestly, when the fall seasons come, any one of those will work. You just want something that's warm. And when you come in from the cold and you have some nice warm comfort food, there is nothing like it, man. I'm telling you, because guess what? Even though I love cock soup and it's really good, especially when you're sick. By the way, they call chicken soup the Jewish penicillin. You may have heard that before, because what it does is that it actually heals your body. And they recommend that you don't cook it with just like, the breast meat. Use like the bones. When you have the bones in it, so you put like maybe like a part of the wing, maybe a part of the legs, if you and cut them across, or the thighs or whatever, and you put those in. And the bone, what's coming from the bone and the meat and everything else that's mixed up in there, it actually is so healthy for you, and it helps you to get over your cold at a faster time. So even though I do love that chicken soup, it's my favorite soup. Red pea soup. We call it red peas over here. They call them kidney beans, right? But it's the same thing. We say peas because we just group peas and beans together. So we'll put pigeon peas, we'll put cow peas, we'll put the red beans that we call them red peas, chickpeas, whatever kind it is. We call all of them peas. Yeah, so he was showing right here what it looks like. But kidney beans, guys. These are some of this. This is so dark you probably can't see that well. The light's almost a little dark. Can you turn on the light over the table a little second? Let me see. Yeah, it's a little bit better. So this is it. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like it's black, but it's no, that's a little too much. Just leave it right where it is. Thank you. But so this looks really dark. It almost looks like black beans, but they're not. They're just very, very red. And so that is what we put in it. But the pea soup, it is so good. And then we made the little dumplings that we call them spinners. They're usually like the length of one of the dumplings is like maybe to about here, and they're kind of narrow. It's almost maybe like one of your fingers, maybe like the size of my little finger here. You say you're gonna draw it for you. Well, but he tried to show you everything, which is good. I mean, that's good illustration, right? As I say, when you see stuff, people who are visual learners like myself, it definitely helps people to learn things easier. But They are kind of like maybe about the size of my little finger right here. And they're made from flour and salt and water. And when you knead them together to a certain consistency, you just roll them, and you drop them in the soup. And it's really, really delicious. It has, the red peas in there, or the kidney beans, as you call them over here. Oh, he's really drawing right now, guys. So it's shaped kind of like that, and you just drop them in, right? But so, like I said, like about the size of my little finger, that's typically the size that we do them as.
Let me is roll this.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'll be kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, so it has the red peas in there. It's a lot of seasoning. You have, of course, the Scotch bonnet pepper. Again, we can't leave it out. That's always gonna be in there. We have some people who eat pork. They put like salted, like it's like
Corn pork.
the pigtail, or they put corn pork in there. Well, we're not pork eaters. She said also spinach in stew peas. Yes, and that's another one. Oh my goodness, yes.
See
Stew peas. Yeah. And for those who are from Louisiana, your cooking is very, very similar. If you're coming on the live now or after, it doesn't matter. Your cooking is very similar to ours in the islands, because you use a lot of red beans. Like when you do like your gumbo and your red beans and rice and all of that, is very, very similar. So the stew peas is kind of like, it's kind of almost like a thicker version of the red pea soup. So some people, they flavor, that smoke flavor that you like. So over here now you have smoked turkey necks. So if you don't eat pork like we do, you can put your smoked turkey neck inside there, guys, and you can make it. And onions. It's delicious. You put your onions, your green onions or scallions, as we call it, your black pepper, all those other things, that we put in there. And we just get it going. And some people, they put, like, you can put coconut milk too. If you can get the actual coconut, or you can get the coconut milk, we actually put that in there too. For me, personally, I don't really like coconut milk so much, maybe just a little bit, because it's kind of overpowering to me, if there's too much coconut milk in there. So I put maybe a little bit, if at all. But the main thing, guys, is that smoke flavor from the meat, whether it's your turkey neck or you're doing your corned beef. When I say corn, it's like salted beef. It's kind of like corned beef in a sense. So that that can be used. The people who are pork eaters, they'll put the pigtail, that salted pigtail, and it's cured, so it has a pink look. If you don't have any of those things, we do sometimes, you just drop some turkey bacon in there, and boom, there you go.
Yep, that works.
As they say back in Jamaica, turn your hand and make fashion, right? So, if it's scarce and you can't get it, you just go ahead and you make what you can. So, yes, so the pea soup, like I was saying, that is my favorite soup. And then the chicken soup comes right on in at number 2. They're almost at a tie, but it's got a little edge on it. I guess maybe it's a smoke flavor that I like a lot, why it goes over that way for me. But yes, guys, so those are our comfort foods that we were talking about, just different soups, casseroles, stews, like stew peas, all those other different things. So guys, I would love to see in the comments, things that you use, when you're making your foods for fall, like what what are your your comfort foods that you go to, because again, it just starts to get colder and colder. You want to go for those comfort foods. It's going to help you along, and it's just absolutely delicious. And we talked about, like the NFL season, it's a lot of, football that goes on there. People love that. And, they just, the tailgating, man, if you haven't tried it, definitely do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all the different topics that we touched on. And you can make a bucket list, because I did mention that earlier in the video, if you came on at the start, that these are bucket list items. And of course, you don't have to do them. It's merely just suggestions. And they're more family oriented. So you can take a look at them and see, if this is something that would work for you. There's some of them that I personally myself haven't done yet. So, they're there for me to do. Let me just take a sip of water before I get back to it. So we're going to start from the top. So the first one we had said was a lot of people, they go trick or treating. We don't do spooky, Halloween like that. I don't know what happened to my chat. Okay, let me close it out. My chat was here.
Oh,
I'm trying to get it off from here.
Close. Let me get it.
Okay, there we go. You just need to stretch your hand, not even touch it, right? Yeah, so some people like that, but we're not really into the kind of spooky stuff. But we do hand out little candy. So the tots, the little smaller ones that come early in the evening with parents, it's a little fun activity for them. And of course, if you watch my last video, you'll see where I decorated my porch. Put a little, couple of scarecrows out there, the nice fall colors, pretty wreath on the door and all of that, just to give people that nice feeling. So that's the decorating side, guys. It's something that we do, where we put those out there. and just to give people a lift in their spirits. So, if you haven't decorated yet, you still have time. You still have a lot of fall. You can go right up into Thanksgiving where you have your fall decorations up. And when you come in and you see it, it gives you so much, pleasure to see how nice it looks. And people pass by, they enjoy it. I have neighbors who pass by and they tell me it looks so good. They just make them feel so good, so encouraged and everything. So, that's the first one there. The next one is, decorating the actual yard. If you wanted to go out and, like put your little fixtures out there and all of that. And I almost forgot I didn't mention the gardening aspect, which is kind of strange for me because, that's one of my main focuses of my channel is to plant your plants for spring if you want to have. And I'm going to do a video on that not this coming week here because I have one collaboration coming up. We're going to do foods from around the world. That should be fun. There's for the holidays, or if it's going to be just something that is specific to your country. I'm kind of more going for something that will work for the holidays though, but either way is fine. But basically, we're going to be doing foods from around the world. So I'm going to be doing that this week and another little one, something, a little tease for Christmas that's going to be coming as well too. But the week after that, we're going to be planting some cold weather flowers because if you want to have beautiful blooms in the spring, and I'm going to show you what I got today at Walmart. And you'll see it in a video I'm going to do for next week. It's going to be probably a short video. These guys are some beautiful tulips right here. You see them? And that was the price right there, which I thought was really good because look how many bulbs you get. 35. That is a lot. Look at that, man. And this is them right here. If you live close to me, you can, because I know people on here that live close, you can maybe get a couple of them if you like. But you have to put the bulbs in. And honestly, like I said in a previous video, a lot of people say that they don't have green thumbs, so they won't try. But honestly, bulbs are really no feel. And I'd say the best thing you can do is to put them in a container. So, when they fade out a little bit, you can always move them to maybe to the back of your home, like the backyard or whatever. And you can have them come up the following year. Tulips are not very good repeaters for the more southern United States. They do better as repeaters, like come back year after year, the more far north you go. But even just for 1 year, you just enjoy them. The problem I have is with squirrels. Squirrels, actually, they just love these tulip bulbs. They'll go in and they'll scratch them out. So if anybody knows, a good remedy for them, and I don't believe in harming animals because, I'm a nature lover. I love the animals. So I'm not going to do anything that will harm them. But if you know something that's harmless, I will keep the squirrels away from my tulips, guys. If you're watching after the live chat, just go ahead and put it in the comments. I'd love to see it because I love to know what works. And then along with it, and so if you just came on, just to show you, these are what I got. These beautiful tulips right here. I'm going to be planting those, but I'm going to be pairing them with what we call pansies. And the pansies, they are one of my favorite flowers. And they're not really that tall. They grow maybe like to about this height here. Not higher than this. So that is maybe like about 6 to 8 inches at the highest. But guess what? These flowers, they are troopers. They, no matter what's going on in the winter, unless you're in a really cold area, if you're in the southern United States or further over the middle of the country and so on, because I've even seen them in Jamaica. I saw them at a house down there one time, and they got them to grow down there. So you can grow pansies even in South Florida. You can. So basically, you plant those you plant your pansies in the fall, and you plant your bulbs. So you can try maybe like tulips. Oh, hi. She said, good night, Miss Marlene and husband. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're talking at this because we went through quite a few things. And we're going over the bucket list of the items, for fall, the fun things to do with your family. But I just paused because I almost forgot to put my little gardening section in where you plant your bulbs. So you'll have them and they'll be there for, the spring. So you have to plant them now in the fall, and then they'll come up in the spring. You have your daffodils, you have your tulips, but you can wait for the video and I'll give you, a little few tips here and there just from shopping on the ones that I saw there and, how you can use them best for yourself. And then the pansies, they pair pretty well with those and they look so gorgeous, You'll get a little frost on them and they'll come right back up. You just water them once everything goes down and they come right back up. And they're there for you in the spring, even into late spring. Sometimes you'll still see them. So they do pretty well. But we're going to the bucket list. So Tamika, you just came on. Whoever else is joining. We're just going to the bucket list of the fun fall things that we did. So the next one was the decorating the yard, decorating inside. And then we have those corn mazes. Those, and I was saying that the largest one that they have is actually in the country, is actually in Dixon, California. And it is 53 acres big. Can you imagine that? 53 acres to get lost in. But I said, nowadays we have cell phones. So if for some reason you get lost in there, you can always call someone to help you. And, you can go ahead and that will work out for you guys. So that's it, doing those corn mazes. They have them all over the country. And some of them are beautiful. If you can see them from overhead, they're shaped out in different words, different pictures. I don't even know. Sometimes I wonder how they do these things. God really blessed us with a lot of intelligence to figure out some of these things because it's huge. It's like maybe 10 acres and you look overhead from above and you can actually see that it's shaped out like things. I'm just like, how do they know how to do it like being on the ground to make it so neat, to make a perfect shape? But they do it and it's wonderful and we enjoy it, right? We don't always get to see it from that height, but if you're flying over, you can see it, and it's just beautiful to enjoy. So those are the corn mazes, guys. Lots of fun to have. So then the next thing was what we call leaf peeping. And leaf peeping basically is just where you go on a trip somewhere and go and look at fall leaves and the beautiful ones like what you see on my backdrop right here. My background looks a little bit like that as it gets later in the season. They're a little bit higher up though. They grow a little higher up, but I can see them through the windows upstairs and they are just beautiful. When I'm working from home, I can look through and I can see the leaves and it's just very, very comforting, whatever season's out there. But you can travel to different places. And I did mention a couple of areas, like in the New England states, they have a lot of that there. But always check, though, to see the peak season. It's best to do it that way. It's best to do it that way where you go to the peak season. So you get the full color. You don't want to go when it's too early and you're just kind of like, oh, man, I'm not seeing anything much. Everything is yellow. And you don't want to go when it's too late when the rain has washed everything off or snow or whatever may be starting. So you always want to go at the time when it's going to work out perfect for you. And for those who just came on, this is my special guest host, my husband. He's here with us, helping us out. The tips, he made s'mores for us earlier, which we're going to get to in just a minute. So that's in New England states. And if you don't know what those are like, Connecticut, New Hampshire, all those other places up there. But they came up, Massachusetts, I think, is New England as well. And a couple of other ones like those. They have beautiful, beautiful foliage up there at that time. And Appalachian, up in the Appalachian Mountains. Is that I think it's in North Carolina and Virginia as well, right?
Northern,
I think
northern Georgia also just runs all the way up.
Okay, yeah. So up in those areas, go ahead. And honestly, she said, what now? Oh, you're catching up with all of the notes. She said, oh, you're taking your kids to a pumpkin patch tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. I love doing that with my family for fall. Absolutely. Yes, yes. And you said,
curry.
She said your comfort food is curry. Oh, it reminds me of home. Oh, absolutely. And we eat goat meat. There are a lot of people in America don't eat goat meat. It's kind of similar to lamb if you have lamb. The flavor is kind of similar. Some people say it's a little too gamey for them, but they can't imagine, having a goat for food. So it just varies. But we have curry chicken as well too. For those who are not goat eaters. So those are our comfort food. So we did discuss those. I'm going to get back to them, but I just wanted to acknowledge your comment there, Tamika. And guys, also check out her channel too if you haven't already. Tamika Rosero. She does wonderful decorating just as Mondale does. And earlier I talked about, I'm just giving these guys a shout out since we're getting a little nearer to the end of the video. We have 2 Georgia peaches, and you can even go back, scroll up in the chat to see them as well. It's a number 2, the word Georgia, the word peaches. She does she's doing earrings as a hobby, but she's looking at branching out a little bit more, very close to my heart. So she has just short videos, 15 seconds or less. You can check them out, hit the subscribe button if you like what you see, and that will be her for you right there. So we have the upper Midwest. They have a lot of those over there too. You can go leaf peeping there. So just plan it out, guys. Road trips, guys. They're so much fun. Fill up a minivan, tailgate with travel together in a convoy and just head on up and enjoy the beautiful, beautiful foliage. It is just so, so wonderful, guys. So then don't forget to bless Miss Marley with those thumbs up. Yes, guys, if you're seeing, you're getting any information here, we're having a good rapport here. Be sure to give me that thumbs up. If you've never subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell twice. So you get all of my uploads are, notified to you, or you get notified of them. And you can always decide whatever you like, because I do decorating and I do gardening as well. So both types are available. So you can watch all of them. Some people do, they like both. So the more the merrier, right?
Since you're talking about leaves, I mean, this time of the year, it's just like I don't have to cut any grass anymore. I'm glad.
Yes,
but then there's a whole thing of leaf raking.
Yes,
and leaf blowing,
and that's a fun part
that.
too. I meant to mention that too, raking the leaves, because what we used to do, because my kids are older now, and so they're not into that anymore because they're older. They'll probably just be, watching younger kids do. But a good thing to do is if you have a lot of leaves that fall in your yard, rake them up and make a huge pile,
And they
and then
just
just
dive in.
jump in it.
Oh my goodness. They make leaf angels.
And I did it one time just for the fun of it, guys. Listen, man, as long as you know that there is no sticks or stones or anything that will hurt them, it's fun. It's kind of like almost the version of making a snow angel in the winter, right? That's fun, right? If you've never done it and you've been where snow is, go ahead and have them make a snow angel. You just put your hands back
Leaf
and
angel.
forth, right? And then you just do it. So you said my kids would love that. Yes. So they used to be. They're older now, like I say, teenagers, early 20s. So they're kind of like, I'm too big for that. Which I understand that. But anyway, it's a fun activity. You just rake them on up, make sure you don't have any sticks or stones, and they can just jump in them, and just have fun. And then everybody clean up together. Make sure you have a leaf blower. That helps a lot. You don't have to do as much raking. That's a good tool to have.
Good exercise.
Yeah, and that too is good exercise. Going out and moving about, so that helps you a lot with that. So that's as far as that part goes. Also, Gatlinburg, that's a really nice place to visit in the fall season because it's just beautiful up there and all the wonderful sights to see. Pigeon Forge, that is one of our favorite places to go, guys. If you've never been to Pigeon Forge, you need to go. I don't care where you live.
I see.
Yes.
Cutting grass. That's it's extra.
It's extra income. He's not happy when the weather changes.
Yeah, but what he can do now, he can go blow leaves, and that's easier. That's easier.
Yes.
So that's easier money. So tell him, hey, go for it.
Absolutely. Listen, it's called creativity, right?
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way. You gotta, find something else, But yeah, I get it. Because my boys are, older than that now, like cutting yards of people's. But they did that in the past and they made a little money that way. So it's good to teach them, how to earn an income, learn responsibilities and all of that. So yeah. But yeah, jumping in those leaves that you rake, that's fun. Fun for the kids. You don't want to do it, just watch them do it. That's fun. When you see someone having fun, it lifts your spirit, makes you smile, forget about the troubles, the worries, and all of that. So yeah, go for it. So that's as far as all of those little things going, go on a road trip, you look at all the beautiful leaves and everything. The next thing is that you can also go to the apple orchards and do pick apples. That one I haven't done yet. So that one is on my bucket list to do. Is it Helen?
Yeah, there's like a train, a small train ride there also. So you can go like train rides, instead of different things like the hay ride, train rides, things like that. So that's nice.
Absolutely. And then another one that's on my bucket list, guys, that they do typically in October, it's hot air balloon. For those who were here already, we had a little discussion about it before. He's leaving. Because I first saw it in front of me when I was living in South Florida. I was driving to work one morning, like I was telling you, those of you who came on earlier, and I saw it going by. This guy back in those days, he had a camcorder, and he was lucky enough to see, and he just kind of started recording it. And we're driving behind him, and we were watching him doing it. It was like, that just looks so good. It looks like something I'd want to do. But yeah, they have it over there. So guys, check. I didn't check the date for you, but it's in the month of October. So if it hasn't gone and you are able to go, make it a thing, or maybe plan for next year. God willing, you can go and enjoy it. So we're still working that part out. That's on our bucket list. Season, we'll see how it goes. We may have to flip a coin or something. I don't know. But I hope to do it one day. I just pray for safety, because honestly, anything that I'm not saying to put yourself at risk, but any little thing that you do, you can, it can cause problems, you could be driving on the road to somewhere, right?
I'm gonna flip a coin.
No, let's not do that right now. Let's not do that right now. But anyway, so the bucket list for the future, we'll see how that goes. But, like I said, you can be driving somewhere in a car and something could still happen to you, So, caution within reason, and just, enjoy your life. And if you can afford to, try something a little different. So that's one that has to be on my bucket list. We talked about shopping, especially the ladies, we love to get those boots if you're in the colder area, whether your ankle boots, your booties, your knee-high boots, or some people wear the thigh-high boots. I think I'm too old for that, so I'm not gonna try it. But it looks really good on some people. It looks really, really good. But we go shopping for boots, we go shopping for coats, for sweaters, and all of that. So all of those things She said, I have to take a trip. Yes, definitely recommended, even though I can't personally say that I have. But yeah, something to consider, the hot air balloon, if that's what you were talking about. He's gonna go get our little what do you say now, a kid with a tail. He's trying to get some attention, so we gotta see to him. But anyway, so yeah, so that's as far as the shopping goes. You get the boots, you get the coats, and all of that, and it's just absolutely wonderful picking out those nice colors. You know, we do, ladies. We like to dress up and look nice on an occasion. We're not so much in the pandemic anymore. We don't know what God has in store for the next few weeks or months or whatever. But we can go out now and enjoy company, go to different places. So if you have it in your budget, pick up a few items and get going. And people like to shop for things for their house. They like for fall decor. Some people shop very early for Christmas. It just depends on what. So shopping is like another fun thing that we do, as they say, retail therapy, because sometimes you don't want to get addicted to shopping, because that's a whole other story, right? Which you don't want to go into that. But just plan your budget, make good decisions about what you want to buy, and then just go and get them, or just look to see what's there. Sometimes just looking, window shopping as we call it, that works too, right? So that was that one there, shopping. And the next one was camping. We talked about camping. If anybody ever had gone camping, where they let me see, she says, one of mine is to not do nothing for Christmas, just ahead. Or just head to a destination. Okay, so you don't want to do anything. You want to just go somewhere and have someone cover everything. And I completely get that. Not wrapping presents, nor cooking food, just a wealthy person Christmas, do nothing. I hear you on that, man. And some people do that for Thanksgiving. So it just depends. But Christmas is at the end of fall, so it's going into winter season. But whatever works for you. So each to his own. You do what works for you, right? Who says good job on your fall collaborations? Yes, you have a couple coming up. I have one. I'm going to be a part of it. We're going to be cooking foods from around the world. That's supposed to be Friday of this week coming up here, the 21st, I think, of October this year. So we're going to be doing that one, just different foods from around the world. So we're going to be doing that. So hope you'll get to check it out. My channel is really a cooking channel, but every now and then I'll do something that's kind of like plant-based, because I love gardening and harvesting and all of that. So it kind of ties together in a sense. So we'll see how that one goes, but we're certainly looking forward to it. So that means I have some cooking to do in the next day or two, right, to get prepped for that. And then we talked about the fall festivals. That's something that you're really, if you don't do anything else on this bucket list, guys, go to a fall festival somewhere. It is so much fun. Just the whole spirit of everything. The music that's out there. The weather is not too warm. It's cooler. You're dressed up really nice in your, little, your cooler outfits. And, you go ahead and enjoy like the little games that they have. I say like at my church, they actually have cornhole. You toss it's a little sack that has corn in it, and the thing that it goes into is kind of shaped like my phone here at an angle. It has a hole up here. You just toss them in there, and then when you toss them in, then you have one team against the other, and then when you have one team against the other, then you just see who wins, and you have fun. You just get better and better. The more you do it, the better you get. So they have cornholes. They have like kettle corn. That's a big deal. They may have caramel corn. They may have cinnamon buns, and those things. The kettle corn, the caramel corn, and the cinnamon buns. Those always smell so good. Oh my goodness! I'm telling you, the smell alone is just to make you feel like you ate already, or like you really need to eat, right? So the fall festivals, I definitely recommend them. Sometimes they will do like hot dogs there. They'll have those for you, hamburgers and so on. And we talked about the kids maybe can have their face painted, pick out different characters. They'll have those there as well sometimes for you too. Little rides and stuff like that. They'll have all of those. Not like at summertime, but those are still there for you as well. So that's the next thing for your bucket list. The next one is that people who are people are drinkers. We're really not drinkers, but they have wineries, that they have tours. You can go on tours. They have wine tasting. You can go and taste the different wines that they have, and see what you like and what they're doing and all of that stuff. And the next big one that we talked about was the football season. Are you ready for some football, right? And like I said earlier, I'm not going to say who my team is since I'm hosting. I won't do that, but everybody has their special team, and it's a very big deal over here. Growing up in the islands in the Caribbean, when we said football, we meant soccer, like the FIFA World Cup. That's what we meant. But over here, it's a different thing. As my husband was explaining earlier, our guest host, he was saying that they call it football because the ball is a foot long, and so that's where the term came from. Because I didn't understand, because it was like soccer in the islands, we kick the ball pretty much almost all the time. Because if you touch it with a hand in a play, it's called a handball. So we get, and it's disallowed, right? But basically, um, the NFL season, people have their teams. It's a big deal. The tailgating part of it is another big aspect. If you've never gone tailgating, I'd say put that on your bucket list, guys, and try to do it. Where you go out, typically it's done like in a pickup vehicle. In the back, they have the things in there. And then basically what they'll do is they have like hamburgers, hot dogs. People make all kinds of stuff. If you're going to carry things like potato salad and those things, so guys, make sure that they're kept at a safe temperature so that way you won't have any illnesses coming out of it, right? So that's as far as that goes. The tailgating, the fun, the fan, people have their different jerseys that they wear. Some people decorate their homes, they decorate their porch. It's a very, very big deal for them, people who follow it. And like I said, initially, we when we just came here, we weren't really like, we weren't big NFL followers, to be honest. But over time, they kind of wore us down. I don't watch it as often as I did maybe 2 or 3 years ago before the pandemic, but I still do. But I'm not like, as avid as I was before. But definitely, it's something you can get caught up in and, have fun and enjoy with your family and all of that. And then we talked about the different foods that, we do, like, the comfort foods, like we have our soups or stews. We talked about like different type of soups and stews that we like as favorites. We also talked about making s'mores. And this is one that we have here. So delicious. Or you can just roast marshmallows, like when you go camping, which is, you can go camping, you have the campfire, the bonfire, you roast your marshmallows. My husband just did this one. It's actually soft on the inside. You just put it between your arms. He's getting all ooey gooey there. But it has the graham crackers on the outside. You have the chocolate in the middle. And then you have the marshmallow that holds everything together. So if you've never done that with your kids, guys, do it. If you have a fireplace where you can even make it in there, which makes it a lot of fun, you can do it at the fireplace. Of course, always fire safety. But they even do it in the microwave sometimes too. I've seen that they have recipes for that. But I'm just like, I like when it has a kind of smoky looking color. So, I like it going on that way where you just see the toasty look and it just, I think it does something than having it in the microwave. But if that's what you have to do, or if you have like an electric stove and you don't have a fireplace, then you can do it that way. That's fine, whatever works for you. So we looked at all of those different comfort foods, painting the face, the wineries. We talked about gardening, that I got my tulips. If you're not so much of a green thumb, you can just try bulbs, put them in a container, do container gardening. I have quite a few of those videos on my channel. So you can just go ahead and put that on there, and then that will work for you. So we have all of those things going here. So be sure that you take some pictures with your family of you having fall fun, whether it's on your road trip. Like I said, you can have a group of people go, 2 vehicles, one behind the other, and you can just do it that way. So I need my co-host to come and since we're kind of wrapping it up now, I'm trying to get my co-host to come over and just wrap it on up with me here. For those who are just coming in, I'm sorry that you're coming in at the end. You can always go back towards the beginning and you can watch it because it's always available. Once we end the live stream, so you can see all the different things that we went over. And so you have, but in your leisure time, it's always going to be there. You can just go to my channel, tap on the icon, you go to videos, you have live videos. Or it may be under all the videos, you can just go to live and you can see, you can give me a thumbs up, if you got good information or you're watching it now or after, whichever one is fine. I certainly appreciate you. But yes, guys, so those are the things that we went over. So get the gardening together. I'm going to be doing gardening video, not this week because I have 2 other things on it, but the following week, because it still will be good for you to plant your cool weather flowers. So like your pansies, your kale, because the pansies grow in Jamaica. So I think they can grow in South Florida. I don't see why not. As long as they're available in your garden center, then it means that they will grow in your ear. If you don't see them there, then I wouldn't try to force the issue and try to get them there. Yeah, because I saw them in Jamaica too, Yeah. And Jamaica is pretty warm, and they did a really good job there. Thank you for that thumbs up. I certainly appreciate it. She said, yes, my kids love that. Okay. You're calling their names. Oh, yeah. So for sure. So, guys, so those are the things to do on your bucket list. I hope you got some great information today. Hope you enjoyed my co-host. It's kind of good to have someone beside you to kind of like, because I like my chat with you guys out there, but I also like to have someone next to me, just sharing and giving information. So that was really, really good. So hopefully he'll stop in for another time.
Yeah, maybe one more.
We'll
Let's
see.
see.
We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
and
We'll work it out.
another thing that they can do also during this time, which is fun, it's kind of is just to do like scavenger hunt within the house itself, because when it gets colder, you can do like scavenger hunts for like game nights,
With
things
the
like that,
kids, yeah.
So
Or movie night.
right.
Again, we don't do the spooky, scary stuff, but some people they'll have like a movie night over. They'll have some kids over. Depending on how you feel as their family, or because we're kind of
Right.
still in the pandemic a little bit, but you can have people that you are okay with. They're okay with your family. They can have like a movie night. They can have popcorn. They can have hot cocoa. You can do different things that we mentioned for the
Read
different
books.
foods. You can do marshmallows in the fireplace. You can read stories. Just all gather together and just have loads and loads of fun. So I hope that this gave you some great ideas. You can share this with anyone you think it might help. We always like when you do that. Thank you for all the thumbs up that you gave me. And of course, just be sure to hit the subscribe button if you've never done it before. And like I said, these ladies that were in the chat, you can always scroll and you can see them. And I'll just go through one more time for those who came on a little bit after. We have Tamika Rosero, her channel, you can check her out. She does decorating, Johnson Home Decor. Congratulations again on reaching 1,000 subscribers. Well deserved. We also have Two Georgia Peaches is the number 2, the word Georgia, and then Peaches. She has a very, very new channel. When I say new, I mean it's brand spanking new. Well, all she does is shorts on earrings. She's making those as a hobby. She's looking at maybe taking it further. And she'd love to have your support and your feedback onto the things that she has on there to see if she could do something a little differently, if you like it this way, and all of that thing. So yes. All right. So thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it. I hope to see you in my next live. I'm going to be doing a little bit of decorating live, so we'll see how it goes. We'll tweak it a little bit to see what we could do. And, I always like suggestions too, and things that I could do for future lives, because I kind of have things in mind, but sometimes what I have in mind may not work. Or you may have something else that you'd like to see for us to discuss. So just let me know. You can put it in the chat now, or when you think about it later. In any of my videos, it doesn't have to be this one. You can be watching the video and say, maybe for a live, you could do so and so. Because a lot of us, we kind of know each other from who I see on the, in the comments and so on. So, I'm open to suggestion, so I'm always, willing to get more of that. And these lives we share with each other because I learn things from you, you learn things from me. And that's what it's all about. If you learn something new every day, then that's a wonderful life, learning something new every day. So thanks again so much, guys, for tuning in. Happy fall. Enjoy your family. I wish you all of God's blessings, guidance, and protection in everything that you do. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Take care. So I'll see you then. Bye.
Peace.